Hello, hiya. Good to see you guys. I mean, I can't see you, but you know what I mean. How are you? You good? Please, don't say I'm fine, thanks, and you. Don't do this to me, right? Okay, lots of people coming. I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer to start talking to you guys about this very important topic, which is learning English abroad. So what is abroad? Right on time, of course. I'm punctual. What are you talking about? Good. How about you? I like it. I love it. I'm really good, thank you. Hello from London. You guys are awesome. Hi. Studying English abroad. What is abroad? Abroad is outside of the country where you are. So we are in Brazil. So when we say studying English abroad, it could be anywhere outside of Brazil. So it could be England, it could be Canada, it could be Australia, it could be the US, anywhere. Hi, Danny. So guys, when I was preparing this live for today, I was thinking about my own experience and also thinking about my students and friends and people I've met that have traveled abroad to study English and those who moved abroad and consequently had to learn English, right? It's a very important subject because we have this illusion that we're gonna move abroad and miraculously we're going to learn English. So it's like, okay, I need to learn English. Like I really need to become fluent because I need to get a really good job. So then I'm going to London. And I'm going to stay there. So many people joining, I'm like confused. Hi guys. So I'm going to London because I need to learn English. I need to learn English right now. So, thank you. So I need to go now because I have like 2 months to learn English. And so you save up a lot of money and you invest all your money in this course in London. English course. Wow. And you think, amazing, I'm going to be in this really amazing school, central London, overlooking Big Ben, and it's going to be a dream come true. And then you get there and you realize that the schools in London use the same kind of methodology that you know. And what is this methodology that I'm always talking about here with you guys? Books, a very big whiteboard for the teacher to make notes on. Lots of notes, lots of sentences, lots of grammar, lots and lots of grammar. Handouts. What is a handout? A handout is, I'm going to show you for you to understand. Handout. A piece of paper with some exercises on. That's a handout where you have to complete the sentences. There are so many sentences and hi Dad, and you have to know what is the right verb, and you have to know what is the right adjective, and you have to know all these things, all these fancy things. And then there are lots of Brazilians in your class. So you are studying in London, surrounded by Brazilian people, or maybe Spanish people, Portuguese people, Italian people, Japanese people, and so on. Maybe there is a chance that your teacher is not a native teacher. So you have this dream of studying abroad because you think, best schools, best teachers. It's a dream, okay? I'm not saying, listen up, pay attention to me now. I'm not saying that all the schools are the same and all the teachers are the same. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that because we have this dream, it becomes a very romantic scenario. And so it generates disappointment and frustration. I'm going to tell you about my experience now, okay? When I moved to England, it was not London, it was Norwich, a small city in England. Oh, it's fine, you can watch it later. This is gonna be saved, okay? So when I moved to Norwich, I didn't speak English, okay? Nothing. No English at all. I didn't understand anything. Anything, really, zero, nothing. And I went to school because I was a teenager. So I went to a normal school and I was, yes, with other languages too, of course. And I was surrounded by native people because I lived in a small city. So there were no Brazilians in my school, which was great, right? And so I was there at school and my dad found this English course that he thought would be very good for my mum and for me. So then twice a week, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was twice a week, I would leave school early. Early is before the time. Thank you. Leave school early and get a bus and get to this school to study English, okay? So it was an English course. Like one of those fancy English courses. It was a very nice school, beautiful school, big school. And I remember getting to this course and realizing that number one, I had no idea what they were talking about because the teachers were natives, however, very mechanical. So they had a book that they followed. So it's like they were reading things from the book and writing on the board and giving us handouts and exercises to do. Hello, exercises to do from the book. And sometimes they would ask us to get into groups, small groups, or maybe pairs, 2 people, and practice your speaking. Practice your speaking with people that know the same or less than you. How does that work? Can somebody explain to me, please? I have no idea how this works. I think it's crazy. Anyway, there was a lesson that I remember very well, which was about, listen to this, it was about may, must, and might. Now you know what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about these little fancy words that every school, every course, every teacher teaches, right? We all heard about may, must, and might. We heard about these words. Maybe we don't know how to use these words, but we have heard of them. We know they exist. Am I right? So, there was one day that I got to school, to my English course. I was there for 1 month, guys, just 1 month. And they were teaching about this. And I remember that I was the one person, because I was the youngest. Everybody there was slightly older than me. I was the youngest. And I remember I was the one student who got all the answers right. Right. So I scored 100% of this exercise, may, must, might. And then I went home and I had no idea how to use may, must, and might. Like, I had no idea what these words were. I just understood that there were some sentences that you were supposed to use them in the exercise, not in life. Do you see how you can learn from an exercise which is in the bubble, and you can learn in life, which is literally getting out of the bubble? Right? Okay. I forgot about this completely. I totally forgot about it until something happened. I was trying to talk to a friend from school, and I asked her a question. I don't remember the question, but I remember the answer. The question was something like, are you going downstairs for lunch? Maybe something like this, but not as perfect as this, because I was learning, okay? But you know what she said? She looked at me and she said, I might do. I might? Hello, Regina. Might do. I might do. And I was like, oh my God, I remember this. Like, okay, this makes sense now. Like, people are using might. And that moment was the moment I understood might. I understood it was like maybe. It was like possibility. Yeah, I might do. Don't know, might do. So, this is out of the bubble. This is what I'm always talking about to you guys. That you have got to forget about books, forget about handouts, forget about the grammar, forget about all this, because it doesn't really help. It doesn't really help. Now, what I want to talk about is something super interesting that I hear a lot from my students who are in London, or sometimes Dublin, sometimes small cities in England, etc. They say to me a lot, and there was a comment about this too on my last post. People don't help. It's very difficult to learn English abroad because people don't help. Native people don't help. Okay, let's talk about that. I have something to tell you. I'm going to tell you another story, okay? Something else that happened to me. When I finished school, I had been in England for 1 year and a half when I finished school, because you finish school in England when you are 16, okay? So I finished school and I went to college. Now, college in England is not university. It's not, okay? College in England, it's like a prep course that you do before you go to university, 2 years before. So I decided to go to college, and I really you're not going to be surprised now, I really wanted to study drama, okay? That was my passion. That was what I wanted to study. I wanted to study performing arts. You know, I wanted to act and sing and dance. So I applied to my course. However, my English was not perfect. You know, I was still learning English after 1 year and a half. Really? What? You didn't learn English after what, 3 months? You're not good. I'm not going to watch you. Bye. Nobody learns English in 3 months. Nobody learns English in 6 months. Nobody learns English in a year. To learn a language is a very big thing. To learn a language takes time. You learn a bit of English in 3 months, and a little bit more if you're lucky in 6 months, and a little bit more in a year, but you don't learn the language. Remember that. So then I applied to my course, right? I applied to my course. And I had to go to college for a test thing, for like an audition. So I had to go and do some drama exercises with the group. Lots of people, right? So I was there and doing these exercises in English. Can you imagine, guys? Like, I was really learning. My English was baby steps. I could communicate very well, but there were so many things I didn't know. So many things, like my accent was very good. So people thought my English was great, but it really wasn't great after a year and a half. That's the truth, okay? It was good, but it wasn't great. And I did this audition, lots of drama exercises with everybody for like 2 hours, and it was okay. Some things I didn't understand at all. I remember looking at people to see what they were doing so that I could copy. So like the drama teacher would be like, All right, everybody, arms up, give a nice long stretch. I had no idea what stretch was, so I'm like, let's see what people are doing. Oh, okay, got it. Okay, I got it. So that's kind of what I was doing, right? And then, after these 2 hours, I had an interview. Oh my God. I had an interview with the teacher. The interview was just us, just the two of us. And it was obviously all in English. She was a native English drama teacher. And got there, and she said to me, Patricia, something like this. She said, Patricia, it was okay. We had no problems with you speaking, with you acting in English. It was fine. I think you followed the exercises very well. It was good. However, I am worried about something. She said, I am worried. Do you understand worried? Worried is like, oh, I'm worried. I don't know. I am worried. She said, I am worried about something. What? I am worried about the writing part of the course. How are you going to write essays? Do you know what an essay is? An essay is a long writing piece, at least 1,000 words. 1,000 words in English. She said to me, there are many essays in this course. It's not just practical, it's also theory. How are you gonna do this? And I said, all right, oh, thank you. That's great. And she said, I said to her, okay, I was just listening because I was a bit like, what am I going to say now? And she said, I'm really worried because I don't know if you will be able to do it. And you know what I said to her? I said, you give me the chance, I'll give you the essays. And I remember that I said this to her because she laughed. She was like, ha ha ha. She laughed, because it was such a crazy answer. And she said, okay, I'll give you the chance. So guys, for 2 years, I remember having to go to the public library in my city to write my essays because I needed time. We only had one computer in my house. I've got 2 brothers and I really needed time to write these essays, So I remember going to the library and staying there for like the whole afternoon and just writing a 1,000 word essay, which now for me is nothing. When I finished university, I had to write a 10,000 word essay when I finished. So 1,000 is all right, really. Oh, thank you. That's so nice. Thanks, guys. Thank you. And I used to spend hours there writing these essays because it was so hard for me to write an essay. And I concluded my course. I concluded the course quite well, considering my writing pieces were not the best. But I did all of them and I gave my best at the time. So I was thinking about this story that was so important in my life. And I wanted to say to you guys, this teacher, Leanne was her name, she helped me. Do you see? Because when a native person says to you, I don't know if I can give you the job. You need to improve your English. This is help. This is them saying to you, do something. Wake up. Turn the key. This is help. Help is not a native person holding your hand and giving you a 1-hour lecture about the difference between will and going to. That's not help. You don't need that. You can just check Google for that. Really, just go on Google, look it up. You don't need anybody to help you with that. But when somebody says to you, I don't know, I'm worried, can you manage? Can you do it? And you say, yes, I can do it. Give me a chance. That's the biggest help anybody will ever give you abroad. Because that's when you get out of your comfort zone and you do something about it. And you change and you learn. Okay? This happened to my student last week. She had a job interview in London. And the lady, the interviewer, the employer, said to her, I don't know, I'm sorry, I can't give you the job because you need to speak better English because she's learning. And she was upset about this, She was upset about this and she told me. And I said to her, do you know what you do with that? Thank you. Do you know what you do with that? You look at her and you say, thank you. That's what I needed. Thank you. Because when somebody says to you, I can't give you the job, your English is not good enough, they are not being horrible to you. They're not being horrible to you. They're being honest. And they're saying to you, hey, you live in this country. You have to learn the language. You have to do it. So then you say, thank you, and you turn your back. I'm going to show you. Turn your back. You turn your back, and you do it. And you don't do it with books. And you don't do it with handouts. You do it with popping the bubble, popping the bubble, and putting yourself out there. Going to the supermarket and forcing yourself to ask a question. Forcing yourself to go there and say, excuse me, where is the tea bags? Tea bags. Okay. Sorry? Aisle number 2? Aisle 2? Corridor? No, aisle. Okay, thank you. And then you learn that when you go to the supermarket, we don't say corridor, we say aisle. You see? That's what you do. And it's so hard. It's so embarrassing. I am very shy. So for me, all these moments, they were very difficult. Okay? I talk to you in a very simple way because now it's, I've done it already, right? So it's easier for me to talk about it now. But it wasn't easy to do. I'm going to teach you an expression. Listen up. It's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. Of course it is, but that's the magic. Why do you want to do something that is super easy? I think it's so much nicer to do something that takes a lot of effort and time and passion, because then when you actually achieve it, you have a story to tell, my friends, right? So now I want some questions. I want some questions from people who are here right now, who live abroad and who are really struggling to learn English abroad. What is struggling? Do you know? Struggling, it's like, oh my God, it's so hard. I'm struggling. I go to school, I don't like the school. I talk in Portuguese at the school. I come home and then I go to the pub with my Brazilian friends. I'm struggling. It's to have difficulty. It's to struggle. So I want some questions or some comments from you guys. Some of you who live abroad. Where do you guys live? Tell me here in the comments. Oh, you're welcome. Where do you guys live? Do you live in London? Do you live in England? Where do you live? Or you live in Brazil, maybe? I live in Brazil nowadays. Do you guys Dublin? Cool. Do you know that I live in Brazil? I told you, right? Okay, so we've got 2 Irish people here. Irish is so hard. Irish accent, man. Come on, so hard. Oh, England. Lots of people in São Paulo. You know what? When I went to Ireland, I went to Dublin. Curitiba. I went to Dublin and it was so difficult for me to understand the accent. I was there for 3 days, maybe 3 days, I think. And I already spoke English when I went there. I was fluent when I went there. And it was so difficult to understand the Irish accent. I remember the first day, I'm not joking, the first day I felt like I was learning English again. You know? So don't worry if this happens to you. Like you learn English and then you go somewhere different and it's a completely different accent and you think, shit, sorry, pardon my French. I don't know English. My English is terrible. I don't understand. It's like, no. Your English is not terrible. It's a different accent. It's not your language. Give your ears some time. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I don't understand these people. Yeah. So, how to improve? Yeah, give the next step when we have already an advanced English. Yes, advanced English is so cool. Anxiety. Okay, so there are some videos about this in the channel, on my channel, okay? You see what just happened? I said in my channel and then I realized that this sounds bad, so it's on my channel. You see, native people do that too. Native people say things and then they correct themselves because it sounds wrong. And that's okay. So there are some videos on my channel about advanced English too. Advanced English, when you are an advanced student and you still want to take a step up, to go further, to do more, this is amazing. Because most of the time, when people become advanced or even fluent, they stop. They're like, all right, I'm done. I don't need anything else. I'm fluent now. And that's dangerous. Do you know why? Because that means, yes, I already knew English when I visited Dublin. I was fluent when I visited Dublin, and that happened. It means that your English you have 2 options here. Listen up, this is very important. When you are an advanced student or a fluent speaker of English, and you don't have, a daily or like you don't have contact with English often, you will it's either or here, okay? You will either, I'm going to give you 2 options, so I say either. You will either stay the same forever and you will not learn new words and you will think your English is good enough and whatever, my English is good enough. Or either this, or you will forget a lot of your English. Now that's the hard truth. It's terrible to hear it, isn't it? It makes you feel really anxious and scared. I know the feeling because I feel this too. So with me, I'll give myself as an example. I'm a fluent speaker. However, I'm not comfortable. I'm not like, I'm super fluent. I know everything. See ya later. No. I don't see myself like that. So yes, Sylvia, you know this, Sylvia, don't you? It's my student and I was teaching her either or the other day. I read a lot in English, okay? I like reading. And I watch lots of different things in English, most of the time in English. And I challenge myself. I push myself because I don't want my English to be how it is now next year. Every time that I stop to assess, to evaluate my English, I want to reach the same conclusion. Do you know what conclusion that is? I want to reach the conclusion that my English is better than it was. And I feel this constantly. I feel this every time I stop to assess, to analyze my English. I think, okay, you know, it's getting better. And it's, right? So, you see, I feel the same. Exactly. Yeah, that's it. And that's what pushes you. So being an advanced student is no excuse for not pushing yourself. Okay? It's easier to push yourself when you're advanced. So, you know, take this opportunity. It's so much easier because you've got the foundation. You've got everything covered. So now you can focus on the exciting stuff, the good stuff, right? So it's really cool. There was another question that I forgot I was going to answer about anxiety. You are probably going to feel anxious about speaking English or about having to, go understanding Irish accent. Totally, that's my goal too. I'm better now than I was before. But I'm not comfortable with the Irish accent. I'm still a bit like, ooh, what is this? It's hard for me. You are probably, for a very long time, and I can't tell you when, because you are different, you know, you're different to me. I'm one person, you're another person, we're different. So, you are probably going to feel anxious about speaking English when it's a situation that you don't know. It's a new situation. Or about understanding English in a situation that you don't know. So supposedly, like I'm going to give you an example about university. When I started university, I was 21 and I was extremely fluent by the time I was 21. And I was very nervous about some of my lectures because they were about English literature and some stuff that I was not comfortable with, lots of vocabulary that I didn't know. So I was anxious about it. Like when I had a lecture, there was one day that I had to give a presentation at university. And, you know, I had crazy insomnia the night before because I would have to stand up in front of, say, 40 or 50 people and give a presentation in English about literary criticism, you know? So the anxiety is always there because it's not your language. I don't know if you guys saw the new slogan for English with Patricia. The new slogan for English with Patricia is English with Patricia, o canal que não fala sua língua. Because that's it, isn't it? That's it. I love English. I am very comfortable with English. You know that I speak English with my children. I've never spoken in Portuguese with my children, but it's not my language. My language is Portuguese. Do you understand? So you can become super fluent, but your language is Portuguese. So what happens is anxiety is always there in some way or another. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Okay? Guys, it's been lovely talking to you today. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Was this useful to you? Did it help you in any way? Let me know, please. I'm always trying to think of ways to help you with this journey. It's a difficult journey, I know. But you guys are so strong, you can do it, okay? And always remember, I did it. You can do it. I did it. You can do it. You know, like I was not born speaking English. I was already 15 when I learned English. So we can do it. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. So supporting of my work. Thank you. Thank you so much. So thanks guys. Yay. So this live is going to be saved, right, for 24 hours here. And then I'm going to move it on to YouTube. Tonight there is a new video, 8 p.m. There is a tiny little clip on my, on my profile. so you can have a look. Maybe it will trigger your curiosity. Do you understand trigger? Trigger is like you are not curious about the video. You're like, whatever the video, and then you watch the tiny clip 1 minute and you're like, oh, I'm curious now. So it triggers your curiosity. I hope that it will, and I hope you, thank you, and I hope you watch it, and I hope you like it, and I hope you keep learning and don't give up, because if you do, then you're done. If you give up, you're done. Okay? And that's boring. That's super boring. Thank you so much. A teaser, exactly. It's a teaser. Well done. I'll see you soon. All right? Thank you, guys. Beijo. Bye.